Hello everyone, and welcome to the SORMAS system demo for version 1.103. My name is Jan Böhme. I'm one of the managing directors of the SORMAS Foundation, and I will be doing the presentation today together with my colleague Raul. And we will show you the new features that we have in the latest version that we officially released in December 2025. It's currently available on GitHub for download, and you can download and install it. And with that being said, let's go right into the system. So there are two things that I would like to show you from my side for this presentation. First one is the introduction of two new diseases to SORMAS, cryptosporidiosis and Giardia. So you're now able to capture cases for those two new diseases. It works exactly the same like you were used to. You can create a case, and under disease, then you will be able to select giardiasis or cryptosporidiosis, as long as those are active in the system. And just as a quick reminder, this is something that we introduced in the last release. You're now able to switch diseases on and off directly through the administration user interface under the configuration. So if you install SORMAS and some of the diseases are not visible that you expect, then check the disease configuration and you can just switch them on and off under the active checkbox here. This would be the first new feature, and the second one is a new type of export that we introduced to the system. You are now able to export data from SORMAS directly for the European Center for Disease Control, for the EpiPulse system. This allows you to directly generate reports that you can then upload to EpiPulse directly out of SORMAS. And the way that it works is if you go to statistics, you will see a new tab at the top, which is called EpiPulse Export. For now, you're only able to export pertussis as a first step, but we are currently introducing more diseases. And once the implementation is fully done, then you will be able to export every disease that we have in SORMAS for reporting directly to ECDC. If you want to create a new report, on the top right, you will see the new export button. Click on it, select the disease. Like I said, for now, this is only pertussis. And then you can select the time frame where you want to do the report. Let's say we want to do one for the whole last year, January 1st until December 31st. Save it. And what happens now, at the bottom here, you can see export created successfully. This is now being entered into a queue so that you don't have to wait for the export, because depending on how long the time frame is that you have been chosen, this can take maybe a minute or so. And this is why this is done in the background. So it's currently pending. And at some point, when you reload everything, this will be set to completed, like, for example, the other ones that you see down here that we already created in the system. And then, you can just click on download, and it will download a CSV file that is already pre-formatted exactly according to the EpiPulse specifications for pertussis. You can check those manually if you want to import them into other systems or then directly report them to the EpiPulse system. And that would be everything from my side that I wanted to show for this demonstration. I will hand over to Raul, and he will tell you a little bit more about the external messages and test results that we have in SORMAS.
Hello, nice to see you all around here. One of the main, let's say, area of development in the current version of that we worked on was external messages. In general, enhanced compliance with HL7 and the FHIR. In case of Luxembourg, they require that different messages have to be handled by SORMAS. Previously, in SORMAS, there was the possibility to already existent to process external messages. And we work to actually improve that and make it better. In essence, in case of, I will discuss the Luxembourg specific side, but this can be used by any country for their own specific message formats and requirements. I don't know if you see my screen.
Yep, it's working.
Okay. So for those that are maybe familiar with SORMAS, maybe you have encountered before the message directory. Essentially, here are the messages that were received by the system in the initial phase. So this is some kind of like a queue of messages. There are different types of messages. For example, we have a laboratory message. What does that mean is that the message was sent by a laboratory with some specific tests for the disease concern. And as another example, I don't know if I will find, but I should find one. We also have physician's declaration or a doctor's declaration. In this case, the specific use case is when a doctor will declare a specific disease. Now, I don't think it's the case to go into details into the HL7 and fire processing, but this has been improved and there is a high compliance with the clinical document implementation HL7, which is in this case used by Luxembourg country for lab messages. So usually a lab message looks something like this, where different information comes from the lab messages, from the laboratories with a patient name or whatever specific information regarding the patient, contact details also for laboratory, and specific codes for the disease. These codes indicate different, how should I call it, properties, not properties, different measurement, different observations. In the HL7, they are actually called observations. This is specific to Luxembourg, so I'll not enter into the details of specific codes, but I will actually show you how a message is processed. So in essence, this came from a laboratory through online services. It has been posted to SORMAS. It will appear here. It will be handled and mapped and so on by SORMAS. It will transform and it will appear here. Now, in some cases, there is the possibility to automatically process messages where there is no need for human intervention. For example, if the message is reliable and has all the information, it will be processed automatically and create cases based on the information present there. So in the first stage, this is the message, right? Our goal is to actually arrive to a case that appears in SORMAS, right? As I said, one possibility is to do it automatically, the other possibility is to do assisted. So basically, if the system was not able to process the message, or it was not allowed to process the message because you can say, I don't want these messages to be processed, you will have them to process them automatically. So in this case, the user that is assigned to it can be assigned through a task directory for a specific user to process a message. Here we don't have any assignment, but we can process. This happened by pressing the process button. Now the system will go through different steps, wizard-like. It will tell us what we can create for which person. So we receive a message from this person. Do you want to create a contact, create an event participant? In our case, we will be interested by a case to actually allow the demonstration to touch all the different areas. So now this person does not exist yet in SORMAS. In case it exists, it will be offered as a match here. If I go into a little bit something that exists, let me see if I can find one that exists. To demonstrate this, so in this case, for example, this person existed, so SORMAS will allow us to select an existing person or the option to create a different person for whatever reason if we decide. Okay. So the matching criteria is based on several things. For example, in the case of Luxembourg, there is strong correlation with Luxembourg health ID. But in usual cases, in the generic system, is based on the address and name matches. So let's continue. Now, as I said, my purpose is now to create a case for this person. So I will create a case. SORMAS will present me with whatever information existed in the external message that could be processed. And in case that some information is missing, the user would have to actually be supplying it. Right. Here we can see the message with different fields and so on. As we discussed with our observation, we will see them exactly in action in the next step. So let's continue. A case was created, and now it switches to the pathogen tests result. Due to it being a lab message, we will receive several tests, which are indicated by this observation. Now, SORMAS is able, in the case of Luxembourg-specific codes, to create different tests that are specified by these codes. For example, this message contained the antibiotic susceptibility for IMI infection with different values that we can see here. So this is another improvement that we introduced in the current version because there was an overhaul and an improvement or how the pathogen tests are handled to make them more consistent with different diseases. So, and now we can actually save and open the case. It will tell us if we want to confirm the test because it saw that there are some positive tests. We can choose yes or no. So we can say yes. And as we can see, all the information was supplied here. And we have the report of the external message that was the source of this case. As I was mentioning, there is an additional improvement for the external message processing where different test results and can be processed and added in the samples for the case. So as we saw, this was an antibiotic susceptibility for IMI infection. So I think kind of this concludes the presentation for the external message. This existed partially before, but now it's more improved with high compliance with HL7 and FHIR.